Okay. Let's see. It says it's recording, and I'm going to try this again. I did one for you, and it had more detail and probably more spontaneous, but for some reason the voice didn't record at all. So it wasn't meant to be, and I'll make this hopefully shorter. And so anyway, I just wanted to share something that I've learned on this journey of life that I have been on for almost 65 years. And it has to do with people that find themselves going into depression or asking the question, why am I here? What's my purpose? It just seems like a waste of time. And I seem to have a really foggy connection, but that's okay. What's going on with the internet today? Anyway, so what I wanted to share is part of that journey, how I woke up this morning and had just a whole different sense of self. And it could be a multiple of things. I had a really great discussion with my son last night. I'm in Italy and I'm visiting. I just got back from visiting another friend in Italy. And it really, that's the thing about discussion, be able to communicate. It's not that, it's that deeper, wanting that deeper understanding of where another person is coming from, so you can really get it without, being conflicted in any way. In other words, knowing that their opinion or their perspective is their opinion and their perspective, and that I can share my opinion and my perspective without rattling everybody's feathers, that there are people you can do that with, which each party can come to a much deeper understanding and connection with the other and go, oh, wow, I really get this. And so what I wanted to do was just share a little bit about my journey that can maybe help you understand if you do go into a place of, I feel like I'm just, floating along and there's really no direction that I'm going into, because that's what I went through for quite some time since my divorce, the ups and downs of it. I had, as I mentioned before, I've manifested before anything I wanted in my life, like things would just come to me. I would just think about it, and I never operated from the position of, to get somewhere you had to go A, B, C, D, to Z. I saw life as a circle, and so in that circle I saw A and I saw Z, and A and Z, that's the only thing I saw. The problem and the solution, or the request, what I was dreaming to do, and then the solution, me walking in that, me joyous in it. So there was no time in between. There was no need to plot out my journey, because I just held that as my focus, and I allowed the universe to unfold, and it always did. I just kept showing up in the moment and doing what energetically I was directed to, and paying attention. So when those people came by and said something like, hey, da-da-da-da-da, and I could respond with my human design projector splenic yes, and follow that energy, or no, that's not the right opportunity. It's not the right invitation for me. So it was really an incredible 50 some years of my life until about 2012, 13, where things really started falling apart after my divorce. I'd gone through a difficult 4-year crazy madness that there was no reason for it. And if he hadn't been an ego and I hadn't kept jumping back into fear instead of staying in my divine knowing self, and I didn't do that till the end, unfortunately. And then that's when everything was resolved. But the thing that I hadn't let go of, even though I knew this was part of my spiritual journey, because I had been able to manifest anything I wanted in my life, and I had the homes and everything that went with that lifestyle, but I didn't have that deep sense of peace and joy that I was looking for, that something beyond the material world, far beyond it. And I'd always been spiritual ever since I was a little kid. I didn't know that's what it was called, but I really started diving in at 16 years old, and all the trainings I had. I mean, I probably have, I never finished college. I went to Europe instead because nobody got me. I didn't even get me, at the time. And it was really obvious when I look back, like, how could anybody not know that, not only was I a healer, that I was an interior designer and a landscape designer, because of the things I had done throughout my life, even as a kid. But that's part of the journey, getting to know yourself, and nobody else, they see it, but they don't get that that's your genius. And follow that path, not going to business school, not going to all these other things. So my education is probably at least $500,000 through life, of all the deep trainings I've taken for all these years I've been on this planet. And so it's interesting how now they're all kind of weaving together. It's like, why did I do this and this and this and this? And I was good at all of them, and excellent at several. So I could see it weaving together now, but I still wasn't sure, what is my purpose? I kind of like, what's going on? And I could see at the states of my life where I totally surrendered in the confusion. I didn't want to manifest and force anymore, or it to be my will, because I knew everything I had done so far was my will and my desire. I wanted it to be coming from something far higher, a higher reality than my own mind and heart. I wanted it from the sacred heart, the divine heart. And so there was a lot of confusion during those years, the ups and downs, and, total surrender, as I said, and then miraculously in that absolute total surrender, when you're hitting bottom, something miraculously happens. But I kept doing that, and a couple of people said to me, how many times do you have to prove to the universe that the universe is going to catch you? And it's like, I don't know, is that what I'm doing? I'm testing. But that is my type in human design, as a projector with a splenic response, and we could go into that some other time. But if you know human design, and I'm also a 5-1, which is a leader, but I'm also the heretic, which kind of says, okay, this system isn't working. I'm very good at seeing both sides of something. Politically, I stand in the middle, because I can see the good on both sides, the madness on both sides. And how do we weave that together? Because what are people really asking for? What are they really looking for? Because really what it is a very few things at the core of humanity, what we all want. But they're missing the point. They're throwing all this crap into this pot and thinking that's people, it's the quick fix, like, oh, let's pay for this and we're going to pay for that. And if you vote for me, we're going to give you this and that. That's just the quick fix. That's the Band-Aid. That's not what the depth of what people are looking for. So anyway, so when we begin to really know ourselves and being able to now, I don't know what happened. I started doing this cleanse of no wheat, sugar, and even grains, and I've been kind of on the grains because I haven't really been in my own space that I can really stock the kitchen and have my juicer and do it totally right. But just getting rid of wheat, just getting rid of the sugar, except for fruit. The sugar in a fruit it's almost like it's clearing something, clearing the fog. And it makes me wonder if these chemical companies do know that, if the so-called deep state knows that all of this stuff in our air, all this stuff in our food, foods that we were never intended to eat as humans, and that it's closed this pineal gland and we don't see clearly. So we're walking around as a bunch of zombies, many of us, or chasing things that are ridiculous. It's just material, instant gratification for a while. And then that search goes on like, oh, come on, there's more than this. There's got to be more than this. So, but I did go into a place several times of depression. And I know that I was refused to try to get out of it by forcing manifestation. I don't even know if it would have worked anymore because of the journey I'm on. But what I did realize is, even though I've had all this training, and Paul Freeney's Inner Child and Byron Katie was far more important to me, the work, being trained in that, and the time I spent with that, to go back and be able to take somebody not just to an instant, that's something that just happened, but take them back to the first time it happened where they felt it, and then heal that. It could be a 2-year-old. Once you heal it, the whole story of your book changes, your life story changes. So it's really exciting. So you can change the past. It's definitely something you can do by healing something that you came on some level to really understand, to learn, embody. So anyway, let's get back to the depression part, because I really was going through a phase of, I don't know what purpose I've served anymore. I've traveled all over. I've met amazing people. I've done incredible things in my life. And it's like, so now what? Nothing really excites me anymore. Like, couldn't wait to travel. I was always traveling. And now I'm like, oh, I think when I leave Italy in a few weeks, I think I'm going to be done with that for a while. European traveling or world traveling. I don't feel like I need to be running all over. There's something else that is starting to happen. But I was losing the flavor of life, because it seemed like whatever there was supposed to be for me, it really wasn't coming together or wake up super excited like I used to, because again, that A to Z and manifesting something brilliant and just having so much fun, and it'd be so effortless and so financially incredible. But then once I was done with it, to be perfectly honest, I only wanted things for a couple years. And then it would be time to sell it and go do something else. So it's always been this testing of life. I am not one of those people that has ever been afraid of change. I love change. I thrive on something different and exciting. And I know Sharon Zimmerman, who does astrology, and I'm going to mess this all up, but you astrology people may know what I'm trying to say. She said my something is way out. I don't know, Uranus is this or something. I don't remember. See, that's the terrible part. I'm just whatever in the moment. Whatever it is there's a part of me that really has no trouble taking risk. And I'm sure she'll, if I have her listen to this, she'll put me straight. But it's true. Let me say something really basic that I learned. So I woke up this morning, because I kind of went through that again. How do I help people getting out of this state of depression or feeling like, what's the point? And all of a sudden, I woke up with another energy. That's why I kind of ran in and didn't worry about being all sweaty out because it's hotter than heck outside, or, the makeup thing or anything like that. I just wanted to share this, because maybe I can't yet. Maybe I can't articulate it quite right. It was a sense of this this deep satisfaction, because when I felt those feelings last, suddenly I chose to realize it truly was just a feeling that ended right here, right here. It didn't go out here anywhere. It was only consolidated here. So how real is that? It's just a belief system. So again, to question, is it the mind that's wanting you to feed that? So the fear or the feeling hopeless or worthless or unexcited about life. And so that's what I realized. Instead of, I'm not saying avoid it. That's a very different thing than to avoid your feelings and use, outer sources like alcohol or drugs or whatever people do, TV, whatever it is that they jump out and go do something not to feel what they're feeling. But instead of staying with the feeling of what's the point, I decided to go outside and feed instead myself with nature, the beauty, the magnificence, the breeze, the birds singing, just everything that came with the experience of being outdoors. And as I began feeding that, then this other part lost fuel, because it wants to feed off of my confusion. It wants to feed off of that, what's the point kind of thing. I mean, I was thinking, God, if I died, how many of my friends would write this huge obituary of how many things I was great at? And I am fortunate. I'm not bragging. I am very fortunate. I'm very grateful that I have been good at so many things: the interior design, creating sacred spaces, landscape design, faux finishes, Venetian plasters, which I've learned in New York and Italy, and coaching, all the coaching I have done, spiritual coaching and regular coaching, and the modalities that I have learned, the healing arts, because each one of us are multi-dimensional beings. There are many lifetimes, and it's like, how many are we aware of? You like all my mosquito bites? I got these in Luca. They have lots of mosquitoes this time of year. And nobody seems to believe in screens. My friend is just putting them on as I was leaving. There was one partially up. Great. Anyway, so on to the next. But feed that. Don't feed the mind. Now, if there's a feeling that you need to go back and do some inner work, wow, I know some incredible coaches. I'm one of them. But I have some others if we're not a match. I like matching people with like energies who can get the job done. My philosophy is getting somebody in and out as fast as possible, teaching them how to do it, because I get bored. I don't want somebody as a client over and over and over again. I haven't done my job. My job is to help them get to the course, see how we did that, and train them how to do it for themselves. And I'm not one of those that you're ever going to nail down for months and months and months or years. 6 months is the max, and we're done. So that doesn't mean checking in once in a while for, an update or helping somebody through things. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to be mean or something. I don't drop people. People are always close to my heart. So anyway, again, that depression, that hurt, that pain can actually fuel your awakening. And that's what's exciting. You might think, oh my God, I'm in this depression and this, and it's going to take me forever to get out. And, it's like I'm starting over again. It's not true. That depth of longing inside, that depression is to know the self, and it's not knowing it fully. And then sometimes we feel that hopelessness or despondency or whatever it is. So anyway, just keep feeding it by wonderful things that you're doing for yourself. I'm not saying going on a spending spree or anything like that. Then you're in another trauma of, oh my God, guilt and this kind of stuff. I'm saying go to nature, let her feed you, or the river or a mountaintop, whatever it is. So start feeding with that, and then it starts actually taking that negative energy away. And stops feeding the ego, okay? And the mind, the ego mind. Instead, it's the divine heart, and take you on your journey. Anyway, I'm excited about life, and I'm excited that I'm here with you. And for now, over and out.